Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up to Helsingborg here in Skåne in the south of Sweden, and we've got another new brewery who I've never tried anything from, so very curious about this one. So we're going to go to Friends Company Brewing for the first time, and we're having a taste of their Sunshine Double IPA, which comes in at 8% ABV. Now I did see these guys at Brewskival, but I never actually got the chance to try one of their beers, but I have heard some really good things about them, and they did start off as home brewers actually, which is always a good sign. But definitely looking forward to this, very curious about it actually. But as always, I hope you guys enjoy my take on this one, and it's always cool to review some more local breweries that are starting up as well. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that hopefully I can do in the future from Friends Company Brewing. Very first time I'm trying one of their beers, like I said. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Friends Company Brewing then. So Friends Company Brewing are a ghost or gypsy brewery, as I mentioned to you, based in Helsingborg in Skåne, and the company was founded by three friends back in 2016. So there's Jakob, Philip and Robin. They're producing apparently around 20,000 litres of beer per year, and the company was basically started because they were homebrewing enthusiasts, and they enjoyed drinking beer with their friends, and that's of course what they named it after, Friends Company Brewing. But Robin has a day job as a handyman at Brewski, apparently. Of course, Brewski, probably the best known brewery from Helsingborg, probably one of the best known ones in Sweden these days actually. While Philip is a car enthusiast and also an entrepreneur, he apparently deals with a lot of the business side of the brewery, and Jakob of course runs a home brewing store called Hembryggeriet.se, or Hembryggeriet.se as you would say in Swedish, and he started the brewery basically as a part-time venture and just wants to kind of see how it goes. But they've been home brewers for years. They basically wanted to drink beer with their friends and sort of made their own beers commercial. So it's a kind of interesting concept, this one, and as I say, it's always cool to see little new breweries popping up. So yeah, that's all you really need to know about these guys at the moment. There will apparently be a double dry hopped version of this beer coming out later, but the brewery apparently for the moment are focusing on producing IPAs, and very soon they'll start to produce some of the big imperial stouts and things like that as well. So best of luck to them, and I'm sure we'll see more from these guys in the near future. Hopefully I can review more of their beers for you at some point soon. But yeah, so I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork of this one before we open up. Nicely presented beer, as you often get from craft breweries. It's quite almost summer and tropical there. It even has pouring instructions on the side there, so we'll go through that in a minute. So yeah, it says here, so we are so happy to introduce our first Double India Pale Ale. It is brewed with light malt base and loads of tropical new harvest hops. Enjoy. And on the side here it says the ritual, how to pour this unfiltered brew. Roll the unopened bottle a few times on a flat surface, open the bottle and pour 2/3 of the beer into a glass, swirl the bottom to release the juiciness from the bottom and pour the rest of the beer into the glass. So let's follow their instructions then and see how we get on. So yeah, roll it back and forward. That should do. Take 2/3 of it, pour it into the glass. Well, it's a plain bottle cap on this one, incidentally, forgot to point that out. Oh, there we go, it's getting a little bit excited. That's, I guess, what you need to watch for if you're going to roll the thing. Well, so maybe don't roll the beer. Maybe just do as they say for the last little bit, swirl the last bottom bit of the contents. Yeah, that's about the remaining third then. So yeah, maybe don't roll the beer. Maybe, Friends Brewing Company, maybe you need to change your instructions a little bit on this one. But yeah, there's the last third of the beer into the glass, and there we go. Yeah. Well, that was an interesting bottle open. But yeah, so with this one, as you can see and as you would expect, you've got a nice kind of bright but murky sort of golden yellow colour, this one. I'm not sure if this one's meant to be a more New England type IPA or if it's one of these kind of hybrid West Coast New England ones that you're getting just now. But as you can see, solid 2.5 fingers of kind of a bumpy, creamy white head on this one. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but a few little ones heading up towards the bottom of that head there. If I put my finger behind the glass, you can see it does look kind of pretty nice actually. But yeah, let's see how we get on with this one. Very, very curious about the aroma then. I think in terms of colour, definitely fair to say this is a kind of murky yellowish colour. But yeah, let's take a look and see how we get on then. Ooh, this one's got a nice bit of bready quality to the malt base. You can definitely smell some of the pale malts coming out of this. It's got a little bit of an almost biscuity quality to it as well. There's a little bit of a doughy, bready, yeasty kind of thing going on in there. But yeah, nice kind of fruity hops to this one. Mangoes. I do wonder if there's a bit of citra in here. Yeah. Mangoes. Maybe a little bit of passion fruit or something like that as well. Maybe, I don't know, a little bit of orange, but it's mainly a tropical note, this one. Orange isn't such a tropical fruit, I would say. But yeah, it's mangoes. A little bit of pineapple or something like that, maybe. Could be a little bit of passion fruit. But the malt base is kind of shining through quite nicely on this one. There's a good little bit of an element of a kind of floral, grassy kind of thing coming to this one. It leans a little bit more towards the kind of spicy floral aromaticity more than anything else. But as I always say, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. But for me, this one's got a nice fruity, juicy character. It's also got a nice little bit of presence from the malt base. So I'm very curious just to see how this one turns out. So yeah, let's see how we get on with this beer then. So this one is the Sunshine Double IPA from Friends Brewing Company. One of the ghost breweries in Helsingborg here in Skåne in the south of Sweden. Just make sure you don't roll the bottle actually. But let's get stuck into this one then. Slange, skål. Yeah, that's quite interesting actually. They were saying on the side that it has quite a light malt base, but for me, the malt base in this one actually has a decent presence to it. It's got a nice hoppy bitterness to the beer actually, but the malt base for me, I would say, does have a bit of presence to it. Yeah, so for me, this one's got a nice... I mean, I do wonder actually if the yeast they've used in this is maybe US-05. It could well be, or something similar to that. And I guess that's a really popular... It was a popular yeast back in the day, right enough. But it's also a very popular home brewing yeast, that, which is always interesting. Yeah. So with this beer, it's really interesting. You've got this nice bready malt base to it. You can feel the pale malt, it just kind of blankets the middle of your palate, but on top of it, you've got this nice, slightly thicker bready note in there. It's almost a little bit like bread and butter, to be quite honest with you. It's kind of unusual, but I do like what it's going for actually. I like how it comes across. Yeah, that's a nice beer. I will say, this one's quite different from what I've had in recent times from IPAs, but you always want things that are going to change it up a little bit. And I like how this one is coming across. The way that the malt base in this is coming out is really quite interesting. As I say, it's got almost a little bit of a doughy bready kind of thing. There's a bit of a bread and butter note to this one, but it's almost got a little bit of a biscuity sweetness right in the centre of the palate as well. Like I said, you can feel the kind of pale bready malty quality blanket in the middle of your palate. On top of that, it's a little bit more doughy and bready, and then there's a little bit of pardon me, there's a little bit of a kind of almost biscuity sweetness to this beer as well, which is nice. But yeah, just pay attention to the malt base on this one. Hoppy side of things, it is quite nice as well. There's a little tiny bit of earthiness there in the back corners of the palate. As you come further forward along the sides of the tongue, you get a nice spicy floral aromatic note to this one. I do wonder if there's a bit of Columbus or something like that in here, because it does remind me a little bit. It almost has a little touch of that aniseedy, almost curry type spicy note to it, but then round the very front curve of the palate it's got a nice little bit of a lighter kind of grassy note to it, and then of course behind the front curve of the tongue there's a little bit of that oily bubble where the nice fruity juicy esters come out of the beer. Yeah, this one's interesting because it's almost got a little bit of that kind of slightly phenolic quality that you get from some of the Belgian beers. It's almost just got a little touch of that in that bit behind the front curve of the palate there. It's got that almost kind of phenolic medicinal quality to it, but it's interesting because it's not a red fruity quality as such, it's more of a kind of tropically thing, which is really interesting. So yeah, for me with this one, I think mangoes, definitely a bit of mangoes. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some citra in here. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm sure there's a bit of citra in here. I wouldn't be surprised if there's Columbus, just because of the spiciness of the floral aromaticity in this one. Either that or it's something very, very similar. But like I say, the interesting point about this beer as well is that it's got a little bit of that kind of phenolic, a little bit of that phenolic medicinal quality of the beer. I mean, I wonder if they've used a little bit of American yeast or something like that and used a little bit of Belgian yeast, because normally it's the Belgian yeasts that give you this sort of quality. It's definitely an interesting beer, this one, as I say, quite different from some of the other ones that I've come across. There is an element of a red fruitiness to this one as you go into the aftertaste. It's almost just got a little bit of a kind of candied red fruity thing. It almost reminds me a little bit of the little heart-shaped sweets you get from Haribo Star Mix. But for this one, as I say, nice little bit of red fruity quality, some mangoes in there. I wonder if there's a bit of a kind of pineapple, and I do wonder if there's a bit of a tangerine note to this too. Yeah. Yeah, mangoes, little touch of an orange. It's almost got a bit of a kind of peachy flavour as well, actually, and there's some apricots or something like that in it as well. It's got a very smooth tropical note, juicy mangoes, juicy apricots, maybe a touch of peachy sharpness and a bit of an orangey note as well, and some red fruity characters as you go further into the aftertaste, which is quite nice. I do suspect there's a little bit of citra in this one, because there is a little bit of lychee there, but I do wonder if there's a bit of a mosaic in there as well, because there is a little bit of that blueberry-ish quality as well. But the interesting points for me about this beer are the breadiness and the malt base, the slightly more doughy character. I do wonder if there's a little bit of a Belgian yeast being used in there because of the phenol flavours that are in there. But I mean, as an IPA, it comes across really nicely, this one. I like how everything kind of goes together in this beer. What I would say about it is this one's all about how the flavours kind of go together and merge together, rather than rather than something individually really sticking out. But for me, the unusual points about this beer are the malt base and the way it has some of the phenolic ones, and I suspect maybe there's been a Belgian yeast used in here. But overall, it's a nice one. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again, and I'd be interested to see how the double dry hopped version comes out, so maybe I can review that for you at some point in the near future. But yeah, another interesting beer, this one, and I'm glad that I was able to review it. So in terms of the mouthfeel, mid-bodied, carbonation's quite smooth. The mouthfeel is a little bit it's a little bit oily, but at the same time it's got enough drinkability to it. Nice little bit of hoppy bitterness, as I was saying. The malt base is slightly thicker in this one because it's got these nice it's got these nice kind of doughy, yeasty qualities to it, which I quite like, actually. And that was the thing, they were saying on the bottle it was a light malt base, but I'm finding it's a little bit thicker, to be quite honest with you. It's definitely a heavier malt base than a lot of the other double IPAs I've had, but it's a nice bready malt base. It's got some interesting flavours going on there. Like I say, I suspect there's maybe been a bit of Belgian yeast or something used in there, and I would say It's got a nice juicy fruity quality to this one, a little bit of that medicinal phenolic quality, if I'm remembering my chemicals in the beer right. I should know that because I do have a chemistry masters right enough, but I think there is a little bit of that phenolic medicinal quality to it. But nice hoppy bitterness, nice kind of contribution from the yeast and the malt base there in the middle of the palate, and a nice little bit of juicy fruitiness. So it kind of has everything you'd really want from the style, but it's also a little bit different within its own right as well. So have a go at this one for yourself and just see what you think. But let's leave it at that. So this one was the Sunshine Double IPA from Friends Company Brewing in Helsingborg here in Skåne in the south of Sweden. So a really interesting beer, this one. Have a go at it for yourself and just see what you think. So let me know in the comment section below your own thoughts on this one. Thank you again for watching my beer reviews. Do let me know what your favourite beers are from Friends Company Brewing, and hopefully we can return to them again in the fairly near future. But thank you again for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon. An interesting beer, and one that is definitely worth checking out. Slàinte just now.